Here we go. Hey guys, it's Misty from the Book Rat, and it is time for yet another book haul. From Simon Pulse, I got two books by Nancy Olin, Beauty and Thorn Abbey. Thorn Abbey you'll recognize because it was in my TBR for this month. This is a retelling of Daphne du Maurier's Rebecca. And Beauty was featured during Fairy Tale Fortnight because it is a fairy tale retelling. It is set at a boarding school, super thin. I'm really looking forward to it. I'll probably read it and do a mini review when I do, and then save the full thing for the next Fairy Tale Fortnight. And from Walden Pond Press, I won a copy, I believe from Library Thing or Shelf Awareness, one of the two, of The Girl from Felony Bay by J.E. Thompson. This is middle grade, and the little synopsis that it came with just sounded like a great middle grade adventure, and I really like middle grade adventure. Walden Pond Press is really good at those sort of knockout middle grade books. And then I won two books from Strange and Random Happenstance, which is a friend's blog. She posted about this big Lauren Willig event that she was doing, and so I went over to check it out and enter at her behest, and I won. She's a huge fan of Lauren Willig, by the way, so of course these came highly recommended. So the event was for the Ashford Affair, so she had this thing called Ashford April. This is Lauren's latest book, and I believe it's setting up a series, though it may be a standalone, I'm not positive about that. And the other was The Temptation of Night Jasmine, which is the fifth book in the Pink Carnation series. I have the first book, which is The Secret of the Pink Carnation, but I haven't read it, so now I have 1 and 5, so I need to kind of read the first book, look at filling in the rest of the series. This one comes so highly recommended to me, and it's often recommended to fans of Jane Austen, even though it's not like an adaptation of any of Austen's works or anything like that. It sort of hits the same notes, I believe, and I'm assuming that it's set in the Regency period, and that's part of what gets it that recommendation. But anyway, it's highly acclaimed, pushed on me from a number of friends, and this copy happens to be signed. So thanks to Elizabeth, Simon Pulse, and Walden Pond Press for those. The rest are books that I bought because I made the foolish decision to go into Ollie's, knowing that I don't ever leave without books. So, like the raging hoarder lunatic that I am, I got Born Wicked by Jessica Spotswood. This has been on my wish list for a good long while, though I wanted the original, the hardcover edition of it. This cover has definitely grown on me, and I do like it quite a bit. I love that it has a sort of luminescence to it. I think had I only ever seen this cover, I would have loved it right off the bat, but there's just something that draws you in with the original cover, for me at least. So I was kind of holding out for that one, but I couldn't pass this one up for $2, so I caved. And the more I look at it, the more I like it, so I'm fine with that. Black City by Elizabeth Richards. There was a big display of these, but it was in with a bunch of other like random, very male-centric, historical, like Civil War era fiction and things like that. Not anything else that really went with it, and so I almost walked right past it because I just wasn't even looking. I, had blinders on when it comes to that little section, and got almost all the way past it and was like, oh, hold up. I believe this one is dystopian or post-apocalyptic, but I'm not entirely sure. I know that I did want to read it when I first heard about it and read the synopsis, but it had never really been super high on my priorities until I started hearing the reviews, and I heard a number of insanely fabulous reviews from people who have very similar tastes to me, so that definitely bumped it up the list. The Sky is Everywhere by Jandy Nelson, which Allison from the Allure of Books has been pushing on me for ages. And I kept thinking that I had picked up a copy, and then I checked my Goodreads and I didn't have it marked as owned, and thought, well, maybe that was just an oversight on my part, but couldn't find it anywhere on my shelves. So apparently I did not own a copy, and had just realized this a couple weeks ago and thought I should probably look into getting it, and it was the first thing I spotted when I walked into Ollie's. So it was meant to be. I got a bind up of Strange Angels and Betrayals, which are the first two books in, I believe the series is just called Strange Angels, or maybe something rebel-y. I don't know. But anyway, the series is by Lily St. Croix, who I know is really big with a lot of people. She also writes under the name Lilith St. Croix if you read adult urban fantasy. And she's a New York Times bestseller and all that jazz, and I've never read anything by her, but I have marked a number of her books to read. Nameless is like high on my wish list. Every time I'm on like book closeouts and different sites like that, I always look at Strange Angels and almost buy it and just never have. And I don't hate the covers, but I don't love the covers. But this one I really like. Simple, but it works for me. And I figure a bind-up's always a good way to go with a series like that. That way if I do like it, I can go ahead and move straight on to the next. They tend to be like candy. You know, you just want to devour the whole series in one go. And the last book I got was Volume 2 of the Sweep series by Kate Tiernan. This one has Dark Magic, Awakening, and Spellbound. I just recently got Volume 1, which I had been meaning to get forever and finally caved. And of course found it at Ollie's for cheaper than what I'd paid for it, but whatever. I had Volumes 1, 2, and 5, and I went ahead and left 5 because it seemed silly. And I wondered if I should have just got it, because I'm sure I'm going to buy the rest too because I love Kate Tiernan's writing, but for now I'm just going to stick with Volumes 1 and 2 because that's 6 books in total. Plenty for now. And again, I'm sure this is a series that will be devoured like candy. Or Lay's, you know? You can't stop at one. So that is all I got for this haul, and as I mentioned, I do have a Better World Books haul coming because why the hell not? Gotta test the strength of these floors and see how much they'll hold. That is all for me for now. If you've gotten anything cool recently, let me know in the comments, or if you've done a haul, link it up as a response and I will check it out. Let me know what you think of the books that I got, and until next time, happy reading!